real, oggend nooit fout. Die son begin te reis, ek sien die hoop van 'n nasie in hul oë gewys. Gogos in die toue, 12 uur in die hitte, net om 'n droom te stem verby die ou verbitte. Die wêreld sing saam met ons, die heel beton gestroom. Die springbokke lig die beker, ons leef die grootste droom. Die tuis was goue dae, die toekoms blink en skoon. Ons het gedans in die lig waar die reënboognasie woon. Maar die veld word nou al kouer, die belofte raak maar dun. Ons verruil ons vryheid nog voor ons kan begin. En hulle hardloop na die Here en draai hul rug op die weste vir 'n ander plan. Van die Kaap na die Kremlin, Beijing na Havana, terwyl hulle band is Christus die heilige Hosanna. Ja, hulle hardloop na die Here, bebrei met die spooke in die woestyn se sand. Hulle neem die ou verdrukking en gee dit 'n nuwe naam aan 'n spelers aan die top, maar die spel is net so skaam. Patronage en armoede versprei, soos 'n vuurskiet terwyl hul hand skoot met tirane lê die skuldgevoel nie. Die stagnasie in die water, korrupsie in die wind. Hulle mors die goeie erfenis wat ons nie weer sal vind. Ons soek nie die stars en stripes, ons soek die rassies rooi en gooi die skuld op Trump terwyl die land in is lê en skroei. Die veld word nou al donkerder, die droom is uit die mode. Hulle verpansel ons toekoms vir totalitaire gode. En hulle hardloop na die Here en draai hul rug op die weste vir 'n ander plan. Van die Kaap na die Kremlin, Beijing na Havana, terwyl hulle band is Christus se heilige Hosanna. Ja, hulle hardloop na die Here en bebrei met die spooke in die woestyn se sand. Oorlogskepe in die hawe, skadies op die kaai. Die ANC is besig terwyl die wêreld vinnig draai. Hulle hou van die eystervuis, die partylyn so streng, terwyl hulle ons na die bouvalle van die tempel bring. Hulle waap al die pad na Teheran, saam op die bandwagon, tot sins aan die reënboog, wag met spookachtige ster. Ons hardloop al die pad na
Good evening, folks. Welcome back to Night Owls here on the Indaba Africa Channel. Chris live in central Pennsylvania. Sound check. Africa Channel Chris live. There we go. It sounds pretty good. Welcome back. Hardloop al Dipad na Tehran. Indeed. There you go. So that one came out pretty well. Thanks for joining me once again this evening. If something talks about programming announcement after the first hour, this will only be an hour program tonight. I'll be a guest on Caravan to Midnight right here on YouTube. John B. Wells, the former model for Lexington Smokes back in the day. Your Lexington Smokes. John B. Wells, his program Caravan to Midnight, be talking about Venezuela. That'll be for the final hour of that program. The link to that broadcast is directly below the description of this video, if you want to catch me over there with John B. Wells. All right? So that'd be fantastic. You can join us over there. Apologies for going short. And I'm sorry, just somebody sent me something. I'm just trying to read what it said there. So apologize for the short hour broadcast, I should say. Okay. And I look forward to that stream. A little awkward because it's like a radio show. You're calling in. I'm so accustomed being on the, actually being on the camera now that when I don't have a camera, it's just kind of weird calling in because you can't see the other person and engage when they're finished talking, sort of thing. But I've worked it out pretty well with John B. Wells. Understand when I'm on and he's on, and it's my turn, it's his turn. But we figured it out. So, well, I figured it out. It's his show. He's been doing it a long time. So, anyway, well, welcome back, folks. I'm just releasing another video right now about South Africa's bad friends, ANC's bad friends, I should say. ANC's alignment with totalitarian regimes. I hope that you enjoy it. Please feel free to share it far and wide. Anyway, how you all doing out there? What's the word? What's the word? Oops, Telegram wants to update every time I turn on. There's a picture of Lego set coming out of Maduro's capture. That would be interesting. All right, so I've got a few more to post here. We'll go back in when the crime starts. Trump says, oh, the National Guard, okay. All right, so he's pretty much saying that they withdrew, not because of the courts, but because they decided to. That's an interesting approach. Trump's speaking a lot on Air Force One. He's getting a lot of flying hours in right now, all the places he's traveling to. Trump definitely works harder than any president since Bush Jr. Bush Jr. worked pretty hard. Can you believe it's already been almost 20 years since just Bush Jr. left office? It's crazy. And thank God it's been, geez, man, 25 years. Oh, no, it's almost 20 years since Bush. Yeah, it's almost 25 years since Obama left. Phew, thank goodness. Not Obama, excuse me, Clinton. I said Obama, I meant Clinton. Yep, Clinton is long gone. Hope those of you tuned in caught the earlier broadcast with Nas Bota. That was a lot of fun. Enjoyed that one. Hope you guys will watch it too. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. All right, I was just spreading the links for those video. They're not praying the more like song. Huh? What is that? All right, so let me see who's in the chat. These glasses are not staying up anymore. These stay up really well. Work people, Christoph Seal, Pat Schultz, Angelique, Karen Graham, Pat Meister, Vanessa Blossom, Dylan Combrick, CBB, Angelique, Mandy van Rooyen, Ingrid's Inspirations. Hello, Ingrid. Emerencia Quinn, Petrus van der Linde, Mandy van Rooyen, Gesigi, Xavier Grayling, Fons, Paul de Klerk. Future looks bright. 595 Southern Refugees riding December according to Refugee Processing Center. Okay. All right. Future links for Refugee Processing Center. Let's check that out. There you go. Okay. Let's go check it out. Cool. All right. Excellent. You guys are on it, man. You're all over it. $595, yep. 4 went to Alaska, 7 Arizona, 28 to California, 39 to Colorado. Grand total is 790 South Africans now in the United States. 720 so far in this fiscal year. Add to that the previous fiscal year, so it's well over 1,000 now. Florida got 48. Georgia, Idaho got 14. Illinois 4. Okay, Pennsylvania got 5, makes 14. Why are we not getting more refugees here? Texas got 86. Woo! Give them 107 in 2 months. There you go. There you go. Wow. So that's that mission report. Let's see. FY 2025. There we go. That doesn't give me the breakdown I want. There we go. State nationality. Okay, there we go. That's the report I want right there. I'm going to save that one. That is tiny as hell. I can barely see that. All right, so from Africa in fiscal year 25, which was the one that ended, we've got, oh, this is by state. I went by nationality is what I want. Oh, crap, that's not the report I want. I want by country. There, 2025. There we go. It doesn't really help. It's by region. Oh, my goodness. going to have to find that report from the previous one because this is not helpful and have downloads every month. So what is this one called, that report, how we did this one? We just looked at rivals by state. Okay. Refugee rivals. Let me look for that. That'll be the way to do it. Downloads, refugee rivals. That's old. That is one from December. Okay. There you go. There we go. Okay, South Africa had, again by state. I had this up before. That is not the report I wanted. Ugh, damn it. What time frame is this? Properties. That's I did December 6th. That's my download of those. Okay. Downloads December 6th. I gotta get back to December 6th. Gotta save both those. Oh boy, I need to put these in a separate folder. So we're December 12th. December 6th as I need. So yep. So we got some more already now, folks. All right. There we go. So November, December, 720 total. Yep, it looks like all of them are South Africa. Yep, only South Africans arriving now. That's funny. Wisconsin got 31 in December. Virginia 29. Vermont, yeah. Who else? Oregon got a few. North Dakota got 4. New Mexico didn't get any. They got 3 in November. Nevada got 9. Okay, so they're spreading them out pretty well all over the place. Michigan got 26. Ooh, that's a big bunch there. Kentucky got 13. Iowa got 43 in December. I only heard from 1. All these people went to Iowa and only heard from 1. Wow. Isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting? Oh, this is when I download a bunch of crap from my folder. Shoot, same time frame, so I'm going to have a hard time finding it. It's April. Oh my goodness. Let's just do it this way. Last month, okay. No, that's not it. Anyway, yeah, so now we got the number. So 595 came in December. Remember, that was only in 17 days. So let's do the math on that. Any of Utah? Yeah, I think Utah's on there too. Let me see. Sorry. Utah got 7. So 595 in basically 17 days. Okay. Let's do the math on that. Okay. Calculator. 595 divided by 17. That means 35 per day came over. I said 30 to 50. 40 of some military in Venezuela were killed during the air attack were Cuban because the Cubans admit to 26 being dead. Light rain. Hey, Vesperlin, what's up? So 595 came in December. 720 this year, fiscal year so far. That's 10% of the total for the year. So 90% of the 7,000 is still to come, assuming it's just 7,000. Definitely will never get me to watch anything rugby. Sorry to hear that, Kasigi. That's all right, though. Anyway, yeah, so that's the situation, folks. That's the situation. Wow, we're at 114 tonight. A little slow on a Monday night. What's going on? We have the Amerasians by nationality. I'd have to add every state up to get to South Africa. So, yeah, that's going to take a while to do. I'll have to save this for later because it just takes too long. It doesn't have the. It tells me the month they arrived. 4 South Africans arrived in Alaska in September. Okay, there we go. Okay, in Alabama, 9 in May, 5 in July. 9 are all from like one family, pretty much. Then South Africans in Arizona, no South Africans. Arkansas, no South Africans. California, no. Wait, there's got to be some South Africans. Yeah, South Africans, 2 in May, 3 in July, 1 in August, 11 for the year. Colorado, 9 for the year. Delaware, DC, no. Florida, we're going to be some there. 25 for the year. Georgia, 10 for the year. This is the fiscal year, which from basically May until September 30th. Yep. It was really around September 26th. Idaho, 14. Illinois got 7. Yeah. We see how Pennsylvania got last fiscal year. If we got any. I don't know. P. Come on. Where's Pennsylvania? There's Pennsylvania. South Africa, we got 2 in September. So we only had 2. Anyway, there you go. Don't mind going to a state where it snows. I love the cold. Well, it snows here. It's definitely cold, as you can see from the live stream we did with the Stolze family. Excuse me. No, it's not fiscal year 24. No, you're mistaken. The fiscal year. This is fiscal year 26 we're in now. That was fiscal year 25, Pat Meister. You're mistaken. Yeah, 1,059. Is that the total? Yeah, I forgot how many we said. I thought it was 450. So yeah, closer to 1,100 would be my guess. Appreciate a lot of us are impatient, but very impressed of getting average 35 people per day yesterday. Yeah, no, it is. Future looks bright. And I predicted that. I said once this gets going, based on the number of commercial flights at the time that I made the estimate, I would anticipate 30 to 50 people per day would fly over 7 days a week, up to 70. That's what I said. And oh gosh, bless it. Looks like that is going to be a pretty accurate description. Of course, that could change any time. That was based on the information I had at the time. Based on the information at the time, that's what I came up with. Looks to have been pretty good. So don't forget, folks, after this, we'll be over on Caravan of Midnight with John B. Wells, who's on right now. See what John sounds like right now. Where's the sound at?
Right to privacy. Yet under federal constitutional law, parents retain a substantial, if not the dominant, role.
Isn't that a soothing voice? John B. Wells' voice. So I'll be on with him a little bit. Appreciate. Okay, what else? Whoops, I get kicked out of the chat. You got kicked out, Maze. Who kicked you out? I didn't kick you out. Jackie Kane, what's going on? So South Africa's ANC has friends in all the wrong places, folks. But let's start with the attack on the residence of the Vice President, J.D. Vance. And we bring you yet another story of a confused individual who thinks there's something that they are not. Yep, that's right. Here it is. Once again, another wackadoodle doing violent damage and harm to others. Problem child, alleged J.D. Vance home vandal, is son of wealthy doctor, Dem donor, who recently changed his name to Julia. William DeFore, 26, was arrested Monday after allegedly shattering 4 windows at Vance's home. Police said that DeFore was attempting to break into the home around midnight. Another transgender person with some serious issues. The Vances, who moved into the vice president's official residence in Washington, D.C. after the inauguration, were not in Ohio at the time. It's unclear whether DeFore identifies as transgender or non-binary, but recently, whatever, just a person with some issues. But recently appeared at a posting under the name Julia DeFore. Cops listed the suspect's name as William and his gender as male. In the mugshot, DeFore has an unkept, matted mullet and a dead-eyed stare. DeFore's father, also named William, is a successful Harvard University graduate, of course. He boasts decades-long history as a pediatric urologist in Cincinnati and works as professor at UC's College of Medicine. They live in a $1.3 million house in the city's wealthy Hyde Park neighborhood. And he goes around and breaks into the home of the vice president. The elder DeFore donated thousands of Kamala Harris' failed presidential campaign after years of small contributions to a PAC that lobbied for urologists, according to federal records. He's also a longtime Democratic supporter. According to his public contribution, he donated $5,000 for former President Joe Biden. How is that possible? Oh, he did it in 2 campaigns. Okay, because you can't donate that much. It's illegal. Joe Biden and former Vice President Kamala Harris respected campaigns in 2020 and 2024. He also previously backed a federal assault weapons ban in the wake of the Uvalde and elementary school shooting. The younger DeFore appeared to have fall from grace after graduating from Summit County Day School, where he was hailed as a candidate for U.S. Presidential Scholars Program. He had a brief 2-year stint at the University of Cincinnati's College Conservatory of Music, but appeared to drop out in 2020. He said earlier this year he was attending Cincinnati State Technical and Community College. The alleged vandal has a tricky mental health history, including 2024 sentence for 2 counts of vandalism at a local interior design company. Instead of a standard conviction, he was sentenced to 2 years of mandatory mental health treatment, which is still ongoing. In April 2023, DeFore was charged with trespassing at UC Health Psychiatric Emergency Services, originally held on a $10,000 bond, but the judge determined he was not mentally competent to stand trial, and the counts were dismissed. DeFore is charged with disrupting official business, criminal damaging and endangering, criminal trespass, and vandalism. His first court appearance is scheduled for Tuesday. He has what I've seen on many faces lately. I'm not in my head right now. Call back later when I return. Yeah. So why is this person continually put on the streets? Because they're wealthy and connected? Put people's lives in jeopardy. Sorry to hear you didn't sleep last night, Karen. Yep. Okay. Pat's still waking up. Okay. Yeah, still waking up. Gotcha. Well, the ANC's birthday is coming up, folks. The annual celebration of the formation, what used to be an ANC or something like that. It rechanged its name at some point. The African National Congress birthday week kicks off in Northwest Province, another failed state, Northwest Province. Oh, look, Cyril has his iPad. It's on the dais. Someone found his iPad. The ANC's National Executive Committee expected to convene a meeting ahead of its annual January 8th celebration to be held in Northwest. Top of the agenda is the party state of readiness to host its rally. Do you have money? In the ANC's end-of-year message, the party reflected on the year that commemorates 70 years of the Freedom Charter, saying it has renewed confidence in the democratic state and its resilience in serving the people of South Africa. Except it had nothing to do with the Freedom Charter. Plagiarist. Despite the party reporting on some progress, the challenges plaguing the country persist, with many wondering whether the introspection renewal mandate will translate into any tangible change and possible clawback of much-needed electoral support. I have a newsflash for you. It won't. It won't. It will not happen, folks. It will not happen. Here's a good one. Not really. If you're one of Discovery's customers, which many South Africans are with private care. Thousands of Discovery members stunned by costly pharmacy error. Yep. They screwed up, and you're going to have to pay the price. For an entire year, an error in Discovery Health Medical Scheme's pharmacy claims processing system had the scheme providing thousands of members with more benefits than they were entitled to, without them even knowing it. Now the scheme is clawing back money in different ways, including withholding refunds for doctor's visits. One 83-year-old member was told he owes more than 34,000 Rand. How can an internal systems error go undetected from January to December, and then it be in the member's responsibility and liability to repay amounts? Very simple. Hire 30% accountants. That's how you do it. That's how it happens. Hey, Joe, Texas. That's what Sarah McKenzie of Four Ways in Johannesburg wants to know. She's among an estimated 8,700 Discovery Health members who in just 2 days in the year received letters informing they owed the medical scheme money. Mark Hyman, who founded the medical claims assistance company Medicheck and is now dealing with more than 200 of these overpayment cases, says the largest demand he's seen is for 68,000. The average amount is about 20,000 Rand. Demanded by the scheme are not linked to fraudulent claims. Far from it. Unbeknown to members, an error was made in the way some pharmacy claims for both prescription and over-the-counter medicines were processed. I'll bet you if they made an error in their favor, they wouldn't be giving you refunds. You want to bet dollars and donuts? Let's shake on it. Let's shake on it. Dollars and donuts, they wouldn't refund you. The national dialogue. Yeah. So for an entire year, Discovery's mistake resulted in the scheme paying for medication that should have been funded by affected members' medical savings accounts or out of their own pockets. Only 0.6% of members, all of whom are in Discovery's executive comprehensive priority plans, were affected according to the scheme. But that's 8,700 people. It just shows you how many people are on Discovery. Wow. Wow. Discovery claims that it is obligated to call back the funds from those members who inadvertently receive more benefits than entitled to in order to protect the integrity of the scheme and ensure that all its members are treated fairly. Well, they're not treated fairly if you pay for the bills and then you come back a year later saying you owe us money. That's not fair. That's not right. Yeah, let's have another commission. Guess who's got a job, Rohan? Karen, fantastic. Congratulations, man. How's your daughter doing? If you just same accountants as South African Airways and Eskom, probably. I paid in my own pocket thousands. Yeah, I bet you did. Yeah. Call for a commission, Jack. That's great. Well, here's another attack on South Africa's farmers. Allegations that white farmers are getting unfair payments. Seriously? Mzwanele Nyonso says aim is to recover funds lost to fronting and corruption. Land Reform and Rural Development Minister Mwanzele Nyonsa has disclosed that forensic audits into farm equity schemes are happening, with the department pursuing fund recovery and considering further investigations. This follows of course, there's no evidence of anything there. They're just presuming that's the case. This follows a written request from the National Assembly by MK MP Andile Mnachima, who asked what measures are in place to address corruption benefiting white farmers and to secure justice for farm workers. When it rains, it pours. Oh my goodness. I've had a headache all day too, but it's not because of heat. DJ Wallace's family, mourning his death, urges South Africans to show unity with white profile pictures as accused appears in court. The Stock family has called on South Africans to come together remembering the late Warwick Robert Stock, widely known as DJ Wallace, as the accused is set to appear in court on Tuesday. In a heartfelt appeal, the family has asked supporters to change their social media profile pictures to a solid white square Tuesday morning, symbolizing unity, love, and remembrance. There's the accused murder. 44-year-old victim Tatua Majola made a brief appearance at the court last month. Premeditated murder charge. Wow. Water rights and poet for 2 farms and white farmers. Exactly. It's all a scam. It's all bullshit. It's all more racist nonsense. Look who it's doing done. Is it the black land first or something like that? Isn't that the guy that got the appointment? The same Andile from, yeah, I think so. Yeah, exactly, Pat Meister. That's what I'm saying. That's why Ramaphosa appointed him to the position, for exactly this reason. Yes, they did figure out what's wrong with my car. I drove it to the Veterans Organization to do a 50-50 raffle and to sign payroll checks and liquor checks for the alcohol for the place. And it was fine. I drove it home. It was fine after that. That's short trips, but it seemed to be fine. The thermostat was the problem. The thermostat cost $40, but the reservoir where the coolant went through had a gasket leak and was old. A 10-year-old car, it needed to be replaced. So that was $80, $120. And then the total bill was $681. $681. So much for my super chats this month. $681 times 17. That's 11,500 Rand. That was a bill I was hit with today. Now, if I pay by credit card, I would have to pay another 3% because they're charging the bank charge. So I paid by check, saved myself 3%. Also, they gave me a military discount, which lowered it to $614. Whew. No, it wasn't a head gasket. No. Better not have been a head gasket, no. It's a coolant. Better not be a head gasket. That's where oil's at. Yep. The head gasket's fine, yeah. Yeah, ouch, Loretta. Yeah, that's the cost of life. I had to replace the transmission part in it a couple of years ago. It was $2,800. Yep. That's why I don't buy used cars. You buy other people's problems. Things wear out. They don't last forever. By contrast, my SUV is now 21 years old and it's perfectly operational. Drove it to Gettysburg, drove it to Frederick the other night and came back up here, then drove up to Harrisburg and then drove over to Carlisle and then drove down to Gettysburg and back. Perfectly fine. Yeah. Yeah, you were right, Conrad. It's the water pressure. Yep. With the thermostat, yeah. So it wasn't the water pump, though. It wasn't the pump. Just the thermostat was bad. So I'm not sure it was pressure as such, but there may have been a pressure issue with a leak. But it was a mild leak, so it wasn't pouring out or anything like that. Yep. So there you go. $614. Oof. 11,577 Rand. Ouch. Ouch, ouch, ouch. I could stay for about a week in a place in South Africa for that money. Well, over a week, yeah. 11,000 Rand, yeah. Yep. Only 2 people in yesterday's meeting. My daughter recorded everything. That place, that blew my own gasket. Well, the labor, see, so let me put this, for those interested in being refugees, the reason why it costs so much is that $681, it was just minus 100, $581, $560 for the labor for about 3 hours work. $560 for 3 hours work. You do the math on that. That's just south of $200 an hour for labor. Now, of course, at least half of that goes to probably more than that goes to the garage, but easily $80 an hour is going to the mechanic. $80 an hour. Well, that's great, Blood Cup. I don't buy other people's problems. I stopped doing that in 1987. Last time I bought a used car is 87. Well, you're right, Light Rain. It's not fair to compare Toyota's other because they're very reliable. Yep. Rohan is amazed that we have professional nurses. That's the norm. We also have guidance counselors that actually offer, get this, guidance. So Jun Kaji runs an article in the Business Day, a day after my video, saying Maduro extracted. Ramaphosa next? He says South Africa is not Venezuela, but there are a lot of parallels. And he talks about MTN. Where did I hear that? Did somebody talk about that? Oh, yeah. Wasn't that Chris that made a video about that? Yes, it is a lot, Karen. Yes, it is a lot. It is a lot. And it was a nasty surprise. I can't believe your pickup is used, Willem. That damn thing looks brand new. I'm jealous. That thing looks really good. Right. Maduro went to court and entered a not guilty plea today here in the United States. Yep. Both he and his wife entered not guilty pleas. He tried to argue with the judge, and he told him to shut up. So that Security Council video is up now. It's available.
Good morning, everybody. The 10,085th meeting of the Security Council is called to an order.
To order, not an order.
As this is the first formal meeting of the Security Council this year, I should like to extend my warm wishes on the new year to all members of the Security Council, the United Nations, and the Secretariat. In presiding over this first formal meeting of the Council in 2026, I'm happy to welcome the new members, Bahrain, Colombia, Democratic Republic of Congo, Latvia, and Liberia. We look forward to their participation in the work of the Council. Their experience and wisdom will be invaluable assistance in the discharge of the Council's responsibility.
None of them bring anything to the table.
I shall also take this opportunity to express the Council's gratitude to the outgoing members, namely Algeria, Guyana, Republic of Korea, Sierra Leone, and Slovenia, for their important contributions to the work of the Council during their terms. I shall also like to take this opportunity to pay tribute on behalf of the Council to His Excellency, Mr. Samuel Zobogar, a permanent representative of Slovenia, for his service as the President of the Council for the month of December.
This will just all be BS.
I speak for all members of the Council.
Let's just go ahead and jump ahead a little bit here. Oh my God, they got Jeffrey Sachs speaking to the Security Council. Give me a freaking break. What has he got to say? He's an ass. Why is Jeffrey Sachs speaking to the Security Council? This is ridiculous.
Mr. Carlo for her briefings. I now give the floor to Mr. Jeffrey Sachs.
Why? He's an idiot.
Mr. President, distinguished members of the Security Council, the issue before the Council today is not the character of the government of Venezuela. The issue is whether any member state, by force, coercion, or economic strangulation,
treasonous
has the
bastard
right to determine Venezuela's political future or to exercise control over its affairs. This question goes directly to Article 2, Section 4 of the United Nations Charter, which prohibits the threat or use of force against the territorial integrity or political independence of any state. The Council must decide whether that prohibition is to be upheld or abandoned. Abandoning it would carry consequences of the gravest kind. Let me offer some background.
No, don't.
Since 1947, the United States foreign policy has repeatedly employed force, covert action, and political manipulation to bring about regime change in other countries. This is a matter of carefully documented historical record. In her book, Covert Regime Change, political scientist Lindsay O'Rourke documents.
This man is a treasonous bastard, an anti-American hater who wants to impoverish Americans. He's a scumbag American citizen. This is the face of evil in America right here.
70 attempted U.S. regime change operations between 1947 and 1989 alone. These practices did not end with the Cold War. Since 1989, major United States regime change operations undertaken without authorization by the Security Council have included.
We do not surrender our sovereignty to the United Nations, you dipshit, Jeffrey Sachs.
Included among the most consequential Iraq 2003, Libya 2003.
Hey, dumbass. Iraq 2003 is a multilateral operation authorized by that Security Council. See these asswipes? The stupidity they spew? These America-hating scumbags? Jeffrey Sachs, that was a United Nations authorized mission, you lying sack of manure.
2011, Syria beginning in 2011.
Syria UN authorized mission.
Honduras 2009, Ukraine 2014.
We didn't do anything in Ukraine, unless you're going to claim it's Victoria Nuland.
And Venezuela from 2002 onward.
We haven't done a regime change in Venezuela from 2000 onward. He's just lying. Why does this asswipe get to be in front of the UN Security Council?
The methods employed are well established and well documented. They include open warfare, covert intelligence operations, instigation of unrest, support for armed groups, manipulation of mass and social media, bribery of military and civilian officials, targeted assassinations, false flag operations, and economic warfare. These measures are illegal under the UN Charter, and they typically result.
United Nations holds no sovereignty over the United States except that which it chooses to subject itself to. Next stupid comment.
In ongoing violence, lethal conflict, political instability, and deep suffering of the civilian population. The recent U.S. record with respect to Venezuela is also clear. In April 2002, the U.S. knew of and approved an attempted coup against the government. In the
a government that stole an election.
2010s, the United States funded civil society groups actively engaged in anti-government protests. When the government cracked down on the protests, the U.S. followed with a series of sanctions. In 2015, President Barack Obama declared Venezuela to be, and I quote, an unusual and extraordinary threat to the national security and foreign policy of the United States.
There you go, from one of your saviors, one of your saints, Obama. Yep. Yeah, he is horrible. I mean, this is an evil, nasty bastard who has no business talking to the United Nations. It shows you how useless it is.
In 2017, at a dinner with Latin American leaders on the margin of the UN General Assembly, President Trump openly discussed the option of the U.S. invading Venezuela to overthrow the government.
Correct, because it's stolen election. He's not going to mention that Maduro stole the 2017. He's not going to mention that, is he? Of course not.
During 2017 to 2020, the United States imposed sweeping sanctions on the state oil company PDVSA. Oil production fell by 75%.
Good.
From 2016 to 2020.
Aren't we supposed to stop burning oil because of global warming? One day is about global warming. The next day is crime because we can't sell the heaviest polluting oil on the planet, heavy crude from Venezuela. This clown can't make up his mind.
And the real GDP per capita declined by 62%. The UN General Assembly has repeatedly voted overwhelmingly against such unilateral coercive measures. Under international law, only the Security Council has the authority to impose such measures.
That's simply untrue. That's simply untrue. Any country can impose sanctions against any other country. We are not obliged to trade with a country. He is full of it. This guy is a PhD, an economist, and an idiot.
On the 23rd of January 2019, the United States unilaterally recognized Mr. Juan Guaido as interim president, and a few days later froze approximately $7 billion of Venezuelan sovereign assets held abroad and gave the designate.
Look at the Venezuelan. He's all happy that he has an ally in the treasonous bastard, Jeffrey Sachs.
Authority over certain of these assets. These actions form part of a continuous U.S. regime change effort spanning more than 2 decades. In the past year,
I'm sorry, I got to stop listening to this ass. It's total bullshit. There's no regime change. Trump was opposed to regime change. 6 months ago, Trump shut down Marco Rubio, saying we're not doing regime change. Just ask the guy to leave. We're not changing anything. This is such an evil bastard. He really, really needs to be brought to task for this. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. I mean, this is a treasonous bastard. Jeffrey Sachs, what a horrible human being. He hates his own country. You know what? Just go live in Venezuela, buddy, or communist China. Evil. This is the guy who told us we could solve world poverty if rich white people just stopped being so selfish and they all gave $1 a day. If every rich white person in the Western world gave $1 a day, poverty would end. No, it wouldn't, you dumbass. You ever lived in poverty? I have. Poverty exists for a reason. People make dumb decisions. You can't carry people. Stupid people should wear signs. Stupid people should wear signs. That calls for Jeffrey Sachs. Yes, that calls for us. Yeah. Wear a sign, wear a sign. Save me from your twisted lies. Yep. Yep. Unbelievable. Stupid people, man. Really are stupid people. Why does my computer do this whenever I want to do something fast? It wants to play this game. Nope. Damn it. Unbelievable, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, this guy takes the cake. What a treasonous bastard. Hates America.
Stupid people should wear signs, neon bright, so we can find a way to dodge their tangled mess, avoid their chaos more, say less. Wear a sign, wear a sign.
Ooh, Jeffrey Sachs.
Save me from your twisted line.
PhD man.
Wear a sign, wear a sign.
Jeffrey Sachs.
Nada, don't waste your time. Politicians dance and spin, laden lies with a practiced grin. Blame the moon, blame the stars, blame the traffic or faulty cars.
I had a faulty car today.
You think they're 6, not 35, playing games to stay alive. Wear a sign, wear a sign. Save me from your twisted line. Wear a sign, wear a sign. Nada, don't waste your time. Celebrities with tails so tall, lost my yacht, it's so small. It's hard being rich, don't you see? You're living in your fantasy.
Jeffrey Sachs, here's your sign. Here's your sign. My goodness. Yeah, Jeffrey Sachs, a treasonous bastard, an American testifying in the United Nations, betraying his nation. He's always been that way. Should never have been taken seriously. He was at the G20 too. Goes everywhere to disparage America. He is an evil bastard. Globalist and criticize America when it doesn't align with... Yep, exactly. Because he's a WEF operative. He talks about efforts to underthrow and coercive operations, the World Economic Forum, Klaus Schwab, Jeffrey Sachs, all these clowns, and of course, the evildoer from Hungary himself, none other than him, have been working to undermine the United States with covert operations in the United States, funding illegal campaigns to get district attorneys approved so that racist, murdering bastards and rapists can walk the streets of America. Larry Krasner, a prime example, in Philadelphia. Yep. What is daughter's info feed? She listens to Jeffrey Sachs. That explains a lot. Soros provides the funding. Obama writes a narrative, and Sachs is the mouthpiece. Yep. You got that spot on. You got that spot on. Your daughter has a car. I bought and still driving her name. Offered a car. Can I drive? I know a few people PhD need a sign. Yep. Yep. Yeah. Pikachu, that song is stuck in your head. Yeah. Wear a sign. Yep. That one in Pala Pala Nights is stuck in my head. Save South Africa. The land of gold sunshine. Sky so blue. Mountains whisper stories of dreams so true. Hearts are running wild. Shins deep. Save South Africa. Rise above the... Anyway. Venezuelan leader's fever dream of U.S. invasion finally becomes reality. Maduro and Chavez wanted the United States to act against them, and it finally has happened 20 years later. So let's listen to Jeffrey Sachs. The intent of the United States to overthrow the government of Venezuela in 2003. Here we are 22 years later, and it finally happened. And it could have been done in an hour. Sackless Jeffrey tried to steer the council on discussing Maduro being taken and not the why. One of those dollar bills for the poor and have some brain shortage? Probably. Yep. It was the fever dream of a revolution, a dark fantasy spun so many times, each version wilder than the last, until it almost became a joke. The Yankees are coming. Hugo Chavez, who ruled Venezuela from 1999 to 2013, conjured the scenario again and again, warning that the U.S. president and his henchmen, the CIA and Pentagon, were mobilizing forces to strike. He's been dead for 12 years. Spies, saboteurs, assassins, special forces, mercenaries, missiles, poisons, submarines, fighter planes. The empire would stop at nothing to smite Venezuela's Bolivarian revolution and overthrow its leader. Would it be so strange that they've invented the technology to spread cancer and we won't know about it for 50 years, Chavez said in 2011 when he was being treated for cancer. He evoked U.S. submarines prowling off the beaches and airborne troops attacking Caracas. It was, in large part, theater, a confection of claims to justify authoritarian rule, burnish anti-imperialism credentials, and delegitimize opponents. Over time, even some supporters rolled their eyes at the tales of Yankee boogeymen. Yet now, 13 years after an ailing Chavez passed power to his protege, Nicolas Dipshit Maduro, the fever dream is real. On Saturday, U.S. forces bombed Caracas and seized Maduro and his wife. See, they got to stop saying they bombed Caracas. They didn't bomb Caracas. They hit a military airfield and they hit a military operation at the port. That's it. Nobody bombed Caracas. That needs to stop. They didn't invade. It was a raid. It was a raid on Caracas. Stop calling it an invasion. It was a raid on Caracas, and it worked. I didn't see Walter's response. Nine hours ago. Let's see what he said. UN cuts off Mike Waltz. They cut him off. Huh. Interesting. They cut him off. That's interesting.
As Secretary Rubio has said, there is no war against Venezuela or its people. We are not occupying a country. This was a law enforcement operation in furtherance of lawful indictments that have existed for decades. The United States arrested a narco trafficker who is now going to stand trial in the United States in accordance with the rule of law for the crimes he's committed against our people for 15 years.
Oh, they cut him off. Let's see what happens when they cut him off.
I encourage you to stop propagating this propaganda. There is no blockade. That is absolutely false. Let's send a message today, colleagues, in keeping.
That was 2 months ago. Anyway, there you have it. So, wow, Mike Waltz. All right, folks, I'm going to have to drop off because I got to go on John B. Wells here in a few minutes. The link is below this if you want to join us. So there, be sure to hit the like button before we disappear. Please, we've got 142 likes. We can do better than that. Come on, for a Night Owls, we can do better.
That was easy. That was easy.
Okay, hit it. Granddaughter's been waving at you. Oh. All right. Nice to see your granddaughter. Hi. How's it going there? Yeah, if it's a war, we won. Exactly. Yeah, then watch this. All right, guys, be sure to hit the like button. You won't see the throngs of people jubilee celebrating Maduro's. Yes, if they do, they show 18 pictures of 3 people upset, and they show 1 or 2 pictures of what's really happening. All right, guys, take care. We'll see you on John B. Wells in 5 minutes, I hope. Cheers.